Jai Hind everyone. Welcome to my YouTube channel which is Explore Yourselves, Banking and General Knowledge, etc. Today I'm going to describe about who pays income tax after a taxpayer dies. Complete guide to tax liability after death. Introduction. The death of a taxpayer is an emotionally difficult time for family members. Along with coping with the personal loss, the family may also have to complete certain financial and legal responsibilities, including filing the deceased person's income tax return and settling any outstanding tax liabilities. Many people mistakenly believe that tax obligations automatically end after a person's death. However, under the Income Tax Act 1961, this is not the case. The law clearly provides that while an individual may pass away, their tax responsibilities continue and must be fulfilled by the legal representatives using the assets left behind by the deceased. Understanding these provisions help families remain compliant with tax laws and avoid unnecessary legal complications. Death does not end tax responsibilities. The Income Tax Act makes it clear that the death of an individual does not extinguish outstanding tax obligations. Any income earned by the deceased up to the date of death remains taxable. Consequently, pending taxes, interest, or penalties, if applicable, must still be paid. The responsibility of complying with these tax requirements shifts from deceased individual to their legal representatives who act on behalf of the estate. Legal basis Section 159 of the Income Tax Act 1961. The legal foundation for post death tax compliance is Section 159 of the Income Tax Act 1961. This section provides that the legal representatives of the deceased become responsible for fulfilling the tax obligations of the deceased person. They are required to file pending income tax returns, respond to tax notices, and pay outstanding taxes from the estate inherited by them. Who is responsible? The responsibility generally lies with the legal representatives of the deceased. These may include the spouse, husband or wife, children, parents, any other legal heir, or executor appointed under law. Where there are multiple legal representatives, the responsibility may be shared among them depending upon the estate received. Order of priority. If there are several legal heirs, the responsibility is generally considered in the following order: widow or widower, children, father, mother, other legal heirs or representatives. The exact legal position may vary depending on succession laws and court appointed executors where applicable. Limit of liability. An important protection under the law is that the legal representative is not personally liable beyond the value of estate inherited. This means tax dues are payable only from the assets left behind by the deceased. If the estate is insufficient to clear all liabilities, the legal representative is generally not required to pay from their own personal funds beyond the inherited estate. What does the liability include? The responsibility may include payment of outstanding income tax, interest on unpaid taxes, applicable penalties, any other statutory dues payable by the deceased up to the date of death. How is the tax paid? The process generally involves the following steps. The first, the legal representative gathers details of the deceased person's income, assets, liabilities, and pending tax obligations. Second, an income tax return ITR is filed on behalf of the deceased for the period from 1st April of the relevant year up to the date of death, mentioning the status as deceased. Third, any outstanding tax liability is paid using the assets available in the deceased person's estate. Fourth, the legal representative should preserve all tax returns, payment challans, acknowledgements, and supporting documents for future reference or verification. Examples of estate assets. Taxes may be paid from assets forming part of the deceased person's estate, including bank accounts and deposits, shares, mutual funds and securities, residential or commercial properties, agricultural or other land holdings, motor vehicles, jewelry, valuables, investments, or other movable or immovable assets. Important points to remember: there are several important aspects that legal representatives should keep in mind. File income tax return of the deceased for the period from 1st April up to the date of death. Claim all eligible deductions, exemptions, and tax credits that the deceased was entitled to. Ensure timely payment of taxes to avoid additional interest and penalties. Maintain complete documentation of tax payments and filings. If the estate is inadequate to meet all tax liabilities, the legal representative's liability is generally limited to the value of the inherited estate. Compliance with tax laws remains the responsibility of the legal representative until all pending matters are settled. Conclusion: the death of an individual does not automatically close their tax obligations. Under Section 159 of the Income Tax Act 1961, legal representatives play a vital role in ensuring that pending tax returns are filed and outstanding taxes are paid from the assets of the deceased. Understanding these legal responsibilities helps families remain compliant, protects them from avoidable disputes, and ensures that the deceased person's financial affairs are settled in accordance with the law. Proper record keeping and timely compliance are essential for a smooth and hassle-free settlement of tax matters. Disclaimer: this article is intended solely for general educational and informational purposes. It is based on the provisions of the Income Tax Act 1961, including Section 159 and general tax compliance practices. Tax laws are subject to amendments, judicial interpretations, and individual circumstances. Readers should consult a chartered accountant, tax professional, or the income tax department before making any tax related decisions or filing returns on behalf of the deceased taxpayer. Neither the author nor the publisher shall be responsible for any loss arising from reliance on this information. Thank you very much for your patience. Please like and share this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel.